One day after many of you stood right in those extraordinary lines in Louisville only that caused some people to vote take hours to vote, tonight we're learning the reason for the first time, along with an apology from the clerk herself about what happened. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the WHAS11 night team. I'm Doug Proffitt. Bobby Holtzclaw says their Wi-Fi system just wasn't equipped to handle all that data coming in. WHAS11 night team's Alex Dieterer and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie also talked today with Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams, who votes in Louisville and was also caught in the mess.
You know, it's my responsibility, and I take responsibility for it.
I vote here in Jefferson County, so obviously I'm very personally frustrated by how the election went here yesterday morning.
An apology from Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Holtzclaw and a frustrated Secretary of State Michael Adams. After county polling places were plagued with long wait times and long lines out the door following computer delays election morning.
We've never had that problem with the Wi-Fi's, but yesterday morning we did.
Holtzclaw said the Wi-Fi wasn't equipped to download the hundreds of thousands of voter names in the county, including those who had already voted.
This is how we prevent double voting. It's a security measure. It's an integrity measure.
Holtzclaw gave us the first details about how the morning unfolded. The issues were there as the polls opened at 6 a.m., started to clear up around 9:30, and everything back to normal around 11 a.m. Jefferson County was the only county in Kentucky to experience the delays.
119 counties correctly turned on their equipment soon enough to process the information download that was necessary for the electronic poll books.
It's just like comparing apples to oranges. There is no way that they would have had that problem in a smaller county. They weren't talking about the numbers that we're talking about here.
The poor poll workers didn't know what to do. It took forever. They just kept hitting reboot, and they added more time. So we've got to have better training, I think, but we also need clear standards in state law.
Let me just say this to Secretary Adams. There is no way that that equipment can be downloaded in Jefferson County in a matter of 12 hours. It's impossible.
Adams left wondering if there would have been more voters without the delays.
I believe that there were people who didn't get to vote yesterday because of this, and I'm pretty furious.
I know some people left and came back.
Holtzclaw assures the county that this problem won't happen again. In Louisville, Alex Dieterer, the WHAS11 night team, on your side.
There you have it, the give and take tonight on the night team. Because of the delays, the Kentucky Democratic Party requested to extend voting hours at Jefferson County's polling locations. You might remember they went to court, but Jefferson Circuit Court Judge Eric Hayner, right before 6 o'clock, denied that motion, so the polls did close at 6. Louisville Metro Council will look much differently after Republicans flipped 3 seats in the South End, including one held by Democrats since 2003. Republicans now hold 12 of the 26 seats on the Metro Council, many of those right outside the Waterston Expressway. Well-known Democrats Rick Blackwell and Cindy Fowler losing their long-held seats, and Madonna Flood's seat also flipped red after she chose not to run. GOP leaders saying the flip is a result of voters feeling their voice just didn't matter.
People felt that they weren't heard, that if they weren't downtown or on the other side of Waterston Expressway, they weren't getting taken care of.
I think the South End community just oftentimes feels like they're the forgotten area of Metro government.
Jefferson County GOP leadership gaining ground in the council was said as was a priority, and that Republican turnout during early voting was also the difference. They also say they are now looking at taking the mayor's office in 2026. Across the state, Republicans maintain their supermajorities in the Kentucky legislature. Only 2 seats flipped, and neither were in tight races here in Louisville, where Democrats had been hoping to begin whittling away at the supermajorities. Representatives Jared Bauman, Jason Nemus, John Hogsden, Emily Callaway, and Ken Fleming all held on to their seats here in the metro area. And in Indiana, Mike Braun, the new governor, taking an early victory in the race for Indiana governor, defeating Democrat Jennifer McCormick. Today, Mike Braun talking after his victory, reflecting on his previous 6 years in the Senate and why he decided to come back home and serve as Indiana's governor.
Because being an entrepreneur, I think there's more potential back here at home. I think the biggest issue D.C. is going to deal with, regardless of the outcome of the election, is the fact that they can't run the place functionally and financially responsibly.
Braun says he's looking forward to working across the aisle on issues like health care, child care, and affordable housing in Indianapolis. President-elect Donald Trump is expected to meet with President Biden at the White House in the coming days now. The two are planning to discuss a smooth transition of power between their administrations. Donald Trump will become just the second person to serve non-consecutive terms as president. Votes are still being calculated in Arizona and Nevada, but after sweeping the blue wall of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, Donald Trump's number on the Electoral College went up today. Trump securing enough votes to take the Electoral College. There you see on your screen, Donald Trump 295 to Kamala Harris at 226. Here's ABC's Perry Russum with the latest breakdown on the race.
Tonight, hours after the race for the White House was called, Vice President Kamala Harris conceding, speaking to her supporters at Howard University in Washington.
A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it.
Harris calling President-elect Trump today. A spokesman for Trump says he acknowledged Vice President Harris on her strength, professionalism, and tenacity throughout the campaign, adding both leaders agreed on the importance of unifying the country. A similar message to what Trump said in his victory speech.
We're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly.
Trump is at Mar-a-Lago where planning is underway for his next term. Sources tell ABC News his team is preparing a list of possible executive actions he could take on day one. It includes issues ranging from the economy, the border, and trade. Aides are starting to vet possible cabinet picks. On the campaign trail, Trump hinting to one possible selection, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
I'm going to let him go wild on health. I'm going to let him go wild on the food. I'm going to let him go wild on medicines.
Kennedy is a vaccine skeptic. In an interview with National Public Radio, he says he does not want to take vaccines away from anyone. Republicans also taking control of the Senate. It is very likely they will have control over both chambers of Congress, making it much easier for Trump to enact his own policies. Perry Russum, ABC News, the White House.
And across the nation, a major shift to the Republican Party also taking place. Republicans taking control of the U.S. Senate and the House as well. Republicans are on their track to expand their majority in the House, flipping one seat. However, there are still 38 races yet to be called. Meantime, Republicans gained 3 seats in the U.S. Senate, giving them a firm majority there. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul talking on social media to celebrate the win, saying in part, finally, with a Republican Senate majority, we can focus on controlling spending, limiting government, and putting America first. Outgoing leader Mitch McConnell also celebrating the win today.
You guys know how long I've been around. I had really hoped I'd be able to hand it over to my successor, the majority. I've been the majority leader, I've been the minority leader. The majority's a lot better.
McConnell, by the way, will be appearing at the airport in Louisville tomorrow for a separate news conference. He is stepping down as a Senate leader when the new Congress goes back into session in January. Right now, it's unclear who will replace him, but Senators John Thune of South Dakota and John Cornyn of Texas appear to be the front runners. Both of the senators have been McConnell's number 2 at some point during his tenure as leader. Mitch McConnell has served as leader longer than anybody else in U.S. Senate history. Tracking warm breezes, warm temperatures, a little muggy out there too today, Ben, and even tonight I was walking around, it was sort of still spitting some rain.
Yeah, some moist air out there, Doug, and we have some drizzle and some mist and maybe a little patchy fog as well. So weather impact alert for tomorrow morning, as we will have a few of these scattered showers around, especially in Kentucky, a lot drier in Indiana. Our temperatures tomorrow, kind of like today, after a few of those morning showers, it'll be drier in the afternoon and temperatures topping out in the mid 60s, which is still a little bit above normal for this time of the year. Now we're going to be dry for a few days before some weekend rain returns. So we'll be tracking that and timing it out with your weekend outlook coming up.
More local news here tonight on the Night Team. New tonight, Metro Corrections investigating after a woman was found dead inside the Louisville jail. Metro Corrections says the incident happened just after 4:30 this afternoon. An African-American woman found unresponsive and in medical distress, according to the jail authorities. Corrections says officers and medical staff began life-saving measures but were unable to revive her even after EMS got there. Metro Corrections says an internal investigation into what happens underway. The Corrections Chief, Jerry Collins, releasing a statement tonight saying our condolences are with the family. Anytime there's a loss of life, it is tragic for everyone involved, and we are all impacted here at Metro Corrections. Street racing is what led to the death of a woman on Bardstown Road just 2 weeks ago. That's according to LMPD officers who took the stand in a courtroom today. And a video showing the moment the two cars flew by at high speeds on Bardstown Road, and the crash was heard off screen. And here, an LMPD detective also testified today that 42-year-old Yusnir Pacheco Bernal was driving the white Mustang that you saw fly by there. Another man, Adam Steele, was allegedly driving a blue BMW. Steele is being represented by attorney Steve Romines. Detective Taj Buford Jr. of Metro Police testifying that Pacheco was driving 119 miles per hour and never touched the brakes before he crashed into 77-year-old Myrtle Wacker's SUV. Wacker died in the wreck. Her husband was driving and is seriously hurt.
The detective knocked on the door. Mr. Steele came and talked a little bit. He asked him about the involvement of the collision. He said he was aware of the collision, that his speed didn't have anything to do with the collision.
He did not erase it, is that correct?
Correct.
Pacheco is facing a complicity to murder charge. His bond is set at $250,000. Both Pacheco and Steele also face wanton endangerment and racing charges. Steele's bond is currently set at $150,000. Two Bowling Green, Kentucky police officers are recovering after they were shot while responding to a mental health facility call early this morning. Kentucky State Police say at about 4:30 a.m., two Bowling Green officers responded to a man experiencing a mental health crisis. During the encounter, Kentucky State Police say the man became combative and gained control of one of the officers' weapons and firing at the two. One of the officers returned fire, hitting and killing the man. Both officers were treated at the hospital in Bowling Green and have now been released.